Ladies and gentlemen, fans of the beautiful game of pool all over the world, welcome live from the Miracle Resort in Antalya, Turkey at the European Pool Championships 2026. We have a great matchup this morning on a Sunday. It's a match between Mika from Finland and Felix Vogel. We are playing a round one match in 9-ball. It's going to be a race to 9. It's alternate break with a 3-point rule. Yes, in the left corner in the chair, Mika Rikkonen, and the break-off will be to Felix Vogel. My name is Joris van Amersfoort, and I'm in the commentary box together with my dear friend Gethin Davis. Good morning to you, Gethin.
Howdy, Joris. Good to be here with you, sir, and excited for this matchup. You'd have to say, going on the numbers, Felix probably favourite, but don't underestimate Mika.
No, absolutely. With a nice break off, but the 6 ball is blocking the route to the 2, so I expect a push out here. But we are going to watch a battle between the foundation of Finnish pool and, of course, the explosive future of German cue sports. 9-ball showdown with 2 players in complete different stages of their career.
Yeah, we've had some fantastic pool. We've seen some great play from the Finnish teams, and well, the Germans have just been dominating. There were 4 German men in our straight pool finals, semi-finals rather. So both probably coming into this match feeling confident.
So more of a safety than an attack, I feel, but at least he got a very nice save. And yeah, Felix already crapping his jump cue.
Well, Mika could have given it back to Felix. He didn't. He's put him in a pretty good save. Looking just to hop over the 4 ball here. And if he can stick the cue ball, there's a good chance that he'll end safe.
Felix already used his extension. So there's a shot clock in place where it's a 35 shot clock. And you have the right for 1 extension of another 35 seconds, that is, of course. And a nice result for Felix after that jump. Indeed, he could stick the cue ball to the short rail, sending the 2 ball towards the top of the table, finding some cover behind the 4 ball.
Yeah, that 2 leaking up to the 4 makes this very tricky. We do have 3 foul rule in effect as well. Looks like Mika's called his extension as well, and straight from the bat in our opening rack. Quite a bit for our players to think about.
Yeah, I think that the line just at the left of the 9 ball, going around the 5, is available for a 2 rail kick shot. He's looking at the 3 rail, I assume, going around the 8 ball. Oh, what a nice hit. Now need some luck here. The 4's going. Nice shot.
Well, if this is what we're in for today, Joris, hold on tight. We have just completed yesterday the 8-ball event. We started with straight, then 10. And this will be our closing few days of play here in the European Championships. Everything will conclude on Tuesday. And then we have a 1-day break, and we're back here for Euro Tour Joris. It ain't stopping.
No, the Eurotour will be a special edition, the Eurotour of Antalya. It's going to be an 8-ball edition. And I'll have to recover what I just said. The extension is not 35 seconds, but 25 seconds.
Keeping our players on their toes. And keeping the action thick and fast. Felix taking his time quite rightly over this too. He's played the bank. It's not far away.
He did. Wow. What a first wreck we already witnessing, Gethin.
He just looks to a very humble grin under his nose there. That was a very well played shot and sort of turned around the position in this opening rack. He's left the cue ball on the short rail, but has a really good look at the 3.
Yeah, I like to play this rail first, I think. To get some kind of an angle. Yeah, he did. He played this rail first. Now, how did he get a kiss on the 6? Just pass it. So found another good look towards the 5-ball. Still looking to get in primal shape on the next ball. Work isn't over. Nicely done.
Yeah. This young lad just seems to be getting better and better every time I get the pleasure of commentating for him. He is a very cool young customer. 18, I think he is now. I think he celebrated his 18th birthday at one of our tournaments at the end of last year, which he won.
He is. He's born in 2007. At the other hand, Mika Rikkonen is born in 1980, so he's 45 years old. And some more stats, because I do feel he's indeed growing and growing. His current Fargo rating is 775 versus Mika, who has a 715 Fargo rating, which brings Mika Rikkonen at the WNT ranking 162 position, where Felix Vogel is in spot number 84. So
going on the paper, you would probably have Felix down as a slight favourite, if not a heavy favourite in this match. But as you and I have been finding out in this European Championships, these tables, Predator Arc, not very forgiving, and you can't take any liberties. So it's been keeping all of our play really tight. He's done this really nicely. Not really any mistakes from Mika. Well, what we thought had left Felix in a bit of bother. Played a fantastic bank shot and has run away with this opening rack with his break. It is alternate break format, so we will get to see Mika up to bat now. But yes, it's you do fancy young Felix. If he gets off to the best of starts here in this tournament, could go very deep, even could be in a chance to turn up on the last day, Joris. Now, it's up to Mika.
Absolutely.
See if he can do something about that.
And of course it's still round 1 match, so a long way to go in the route towards the final. But we are currently still at a double elimination round, so even though Mika Rikkonen could stop Felix Vogel in this round, Vogel has a backdoor way towards that final available.
That's not
Well,
a bad
nice
break either, Joris.
No, it's a nice result from this break. It's quite a soft break, I feel. He didn't really smash it, but had a nice cue ball control. that last kiss between the 1 and the 5 ball, where the 5 went into the side pocket, gave some nice precision on the 1 ball. And I personally feel that he can get the cue ball to the left side to shoot the 2 ball in the same pocket as he's shooting the 1.
Do you think he's going to need to be a little bit careful with the 3-point rule, breaking that soft, or do you think it's effective enough to carry him through?
Well, might be right. I'm not quite sure. Oh, how's that kiss? It's not good.
Oh, that isn't very good. No, it was just, he made 2 off the break, and it appeared that only 1 went behind the line, which is of course a legal break. If he hadn't made them 2 balls, it could have been a different story. It was my thought.
Yeah, well, we'll see, and indeed, if that's going to be involving the match any further.
He's going to hop over the edge of this 6. Difficult shot, self-inflicted. Would be nice if he can just recover.
Yeah, I really don't like the distance between the object ball and the cue ball, and of course also towards the 2 ball. This really needs a delicate jump shot. If you strike it too pacey, you're gonna fly over the 2 ball like this. And if you keep it easy, you're gonna contact the 2 ball. So I thought it's a really difficult jump shot in this case.
It always amazes me, Joris. Young and mature players, how they are bringing the jump shot into their arsenal so effectively. And in the under-23 event, we saw some absolute fantastic young stars, and they'll bring out their jump stick more preferred to their playing stick sometimes. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'd also feel like the more mature or veteran players, they dislike the jump cue because they prefer the beautiful art of kick shots, and where you don't really embrace that new technique of jump cues, you're not gonna grab it as much. You're gonna more kind of have a love-hate relationship with that jump cue.
It is exactly that. And
yeah, and the younger players, they really loved the jump cue, and I think in practice they just like to have sessions with the jump cue, playing around, trying to test whatever it can do, and then you grow your arm together with that jump cue, and that has a massive difference in result.
Well, as Felix is tucking away these very nicely in the second rack, one thing I will add to that, Joris, is whether you embrace the jump shot or not, it completely needs to change your safety game when you're playing players that are happy to bring the jump stick out, because you cannot leave distance gaps between object ball and the cue ball, because they will just jump for fun. As Felix Vogel takes this second rack and a 2-0 lead, Joris, I've found that my game has had to change phenomenally over the past 3-4 years in the way that I play safeties, because you just get caught out. They'll come out with the jump stick, make the shot, finish up, you're like, where did that come from?
No, indeed, you're correct. Yeah, you need to stick the cue ball almost towards that object ball you're finding cover behind. It's a different game. It's something indeed different than before, and I personally don't mind changes, you know. Just another development in the game. Yeah.
And it is an art form, jumping. It is an art form.
Absolutely. But I do remember that maybe 2 decades ago, I think Niels Veijen was the very best jump cue player in the world. I'm not quite sure, is this a legal break? I think so. One ball down, 2. Oh yeah, also the 1 I think the 1 ball went in the catching first. So there's a nice
good spot.
issue with the 4 and the 9 here for Felix to work with, but we'll find out later the solution for that problem.
Well, both
but as I
players
said,
breaking well and making balls.
yeah, they are at the moment. But to finish off, Niels Veijen is indeed was the best jump cue player in the world. And with all these younger players now, I think, well, there's even more talent in bringing the jump cue to the table.
You can imagine these younger players coming through grew up watching that transition. I remember Niels Veijen, the first time I ever saw him push into a jump shot position and then make the jump shot. His opponent was just flabbergasted. He didn't have a clue what was going on until it had happened. It was brilliant to watch.
Yeah. How's he going to solve this 4-9? He's opting for a bank.
Bank?
Yeah, looks like it. He ain't afraid of a bank shot.
He's 1 for 1. Playing the long bank in the opening rack.
Has to bring the cue ball back to that short rail for the 5 ball afterwards. Otherwise there's no advantage. Boom, he's 2 on 2. And a 5-9 combination probably.
I think someone's got a date. He's in a rush.
Well, I don't blame him. They are in Antalya, Turkey. I think the weather outside is fantastic. They are close to the beach. So maybe he just liked a little bit more tanning in this last couple of days.
Yeah, it's fantastic here. I've been seeing some photos coming through from the players, the beach, the water park, and also the food looks absolutely fantastic. These players not only taking full advantage of it, but in return been giving us some delightful pool. What about that for a 1-9 combination? And, well, what looked like it was going to be quite a close contest from the get-go, with both players making good balls off the break. The scoreline would suggest it's all Felix's way. Hopefully, with Mika to break, that will change for him. Over on our other tables, as you can see down on table 2, we have the 9-ball women's event kicking off. And that's a matchup between Alari Ghaffari taking on Anna Gradiznik. And Anna has been playing very well in our earlier events. And over on table 3, Konstantinos Kanaris is taking on Walter Leica. But let's bring it back to this opening round race to 9. Mika, with his second break of this match so far, needs to start turning them into points, Joris.
Most definitely. Now 3-0 behind, and I don't think Mika made a lot of errors. It was more like Felix Vogel creating a chance out of a situation which wasn't even a chance, where starting off with banks and jump shots. So Mika just gotta wait for his chance, because, well, in the end, many occasions you will get that chance, and really gotta capitalize on that one.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, Felix not looking to give Mika an inch, but you have to say, 2 bank shots, 3 very nicely done clearances. All signs looking good for the young German here. And how is my commentator's curse this morning?
Well, of course, indeed, a miss, unforced error, because this was a fantastic, easy opening shot for the Lion Kings of Felix Vogel. But he doesn't leave a very nice starter for Mika. I do feel that this one ball cuts to the bottom left, but it's a very thin shot and also missable. So I don't think he's gonna attack here. No. Oh, this is pacey. I found cover. Of course,
thought that
Felix
was
gonna
pacey
bring his
too.
jump through. Yeah, a little too pacey. Maybe a little bit too much of tension or maybe adrenaline in the arm.
Ooh.
Not the best of a jump shot by the German player.
Well, he made a successful hit. Guessing he wanted a little bit of thicker contact on the one ball. Instead, it was thin. The cue ball scratched in the top right, and this a better looking opportunity for Räikkönen.
From pretty straight on this 2-ball. Of course, the 3-ball is right there at the other side of the table in front of the right side pocket. But if you play a stop shot, which I assume he will do, he is probably having too much angle to stay above the 5 and the 9. So then he has some work to do and avoid kissing some balls.
Yeah, and he needs to be quite particular in how he gets shape on this 4 to get onto the 5. Has to come up near the 8-ball to pot the 5, you would suggest.
Yeah, he's got to avoid a kiss with the 6-ball.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Well, he did so. Nice done.
Nice.
Now again, with this position, you can see that the 5-ball does not pass the 8 to the left side, so he has to go around the corners again to find a position on the 5 or a 5-9 combination I can now see coming up. You see that the 5-9 was dead on, so there was absolutely an option for him to play for. Now, can he afford or calculate the kiss with the 9? Avoid that the 9 is getting in between the cue ball and the 6-ball. He could.
Yeah, he did. And Mika, after not really doing anything wrong, was at the table 3-0 down. He is showing great composure here. Would have liked a little bit more of a roll on that cue ball, but you still fancy there is a natural shape to come round for the 8 with the right pace.
Indeed, again, he makes this rack a lot tougher to run out. Not necessarily needed because, he played this and maybe 2 foot too short, like 50 centimeters too short. Can still make the cut on the 7. I would suggest him to play it a little bit softer. I feel like with top left, you can go around 2 corners, bring the cue ball back towards the 9-ball and shoot the 8 in the left side pocket. That gives you a little bit more, room to keep your arm moving and stroking the cue ball. He kept it short, made it, and now also nicely on the 8-ball.
Yeah, he just took his time over that. Recognized, okay, I'm just out of position, probably a little bit frustrated with that. Let's just take my time, make sure of the pot. Great pace. And now, good opportunity to get on the board. Very important for him to get on the board. And just know that it's not going to be just the Felix Vogel show. And there you go, Joris. First point on the board for Mika. He now trails 3 racks to 1. His alternate break, so we will see Felix back with his break stick in his hand, just taking a look over at the other tables. Just a quick update on the women's 9-ball that's kicking off on table 2. Lara Ghaffari is 2-1 up on Anna Gradiznik, and we also have the under 23s 9-ball event kicking off very shortly as well. If you want to keep up to date with all the scores, please do visit EPBF.com, where you will get all of the fixtures, times, tables, and also links to more Euro Tour and Euro Championship events coming up in the calendar. This is the first of 2026, Joris, and it's already been an absolute clanger so far.
Absolutely, it's been a blast to have all this pool action in the last week. Well, we started last Saturday, so this is the 8th day of pool action here from Turkey, and also a long way to go with this European Pool Championships, followed by the Euro Tour of Turkey. And it's Felix Vogel to break off in the 5th rack. Made 3 balls already on the break. With 2 balls in the kitchen, this could also been a, a great break-off if there was a 5-point rule in place. So a very nice break-off. And I think that this 4-ball passes the 5 and a 9.
God, it looks tight, but if there is, you fancy he will take this on.
Quite difficultly cueing from the rail. Oh, was very close. But looks like he got some second prize there, Kevin.
Yeah, I was just saying the 4's locked up against the 5. There may be a cross bank on. Otherwise, he'd be looking to get good distance between the cue ball and the 4 here.
Well, in the first rack of this match, he had a similar shot after a push out by Felix Vogel. And then he took on something like a cross bank to bank it to the left corner pocket. You might do that again, because I think that the double kiss is out of the equation. You can draw this with bottom right to avoid the double kiss. He did. He again played it with a lot of pace.
Oh, it did look like it was going to drop on the second bounce, but that's hung up for Felix here, and a bit of a tough roll for Mika, but I felt that was the shot he had to go for. Not really much traffic to get behind, and if he was to do that, it would have to be pinpoint perfect. Now, can Felix just put that 4 behind him? I'm sure he will.
Yeah, I think the 2 is in great shape now. It was. It's very difficult if the object ball is so deep into the pocket. But he managed to get out the cue ball out of that pocket, back to the center of the table. And now in prime position to clean up the last remaining 4 balls. Although he's lucky.
A sting in the tail.
Yeah. This still should work for him, but he did make some mistake in positional there.
It needs to be treated
Still
with
very
care.
makeable.
Cue ball will be running.
Oh, missed it by a mile, Kevin.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to play it delicate, and then halfway through his backswing decided, oh, I'm going to hit this with a bit more pace. It just didn't look completely decisive from Felix. Maybe a little bit disappointed in where the cue ball ended up.
Yeah,
Still
because
thought
he
would
ran into the
pop
8 ball.
there.
Yeah, still fancy too, indeed. And he was running into the 8 ball from the 6 to the 7. And I felt like that was absolutely unnecessary to get your route so closely to towards the 8 ball. So can the Finnish wall put a stop to the dominant, well, acting of Felix Vogel in this match towards that 3-0 lead?
Oh,
No.
you could see what he had to do there, Joris. He was just off angle, and he wanted to try and straighten it up. He may have got away with it somewhat, unless the combination is on.
No, indeed there wasn't. So this was the only real choice for Felix Vogel, playing a safety.
I can safely tell our viewers at home, Joris, we will more than likely in the commentating box be making comments about these centre pockets. These Predator Arc tables are playing rather tight and not so forgiving, and it does not allow the players to take liberties with them, as you could see in that shot from Mika. But he is back at the table. Oh, he's made it in the centre pocket.
Straight after your comment, I'll prove you wrong, he said.
Hold my beer.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
exactly. Yeah, so what a nice kick shot by Mika. And now, what is he opting for? The cut shot to the top right corner? Think so. Down the rail, all the way to the top. No.
Oh. Difficult shot. Wasn't expecting to be left that shot. I think he was hoping that the cue ball was there for Felix to find a bit of trouble. Anyhow, he caught the middle jaw, and that 9 has tracked right across the table over onto the long rail, maybe even locked against the long rail. Might make this a little bit less tricky for Felix, but you have to say 3-2 is a big difference to 4-1, Joris. How big will that play in this match?
Well, if it's going to be 4-1, then definitely the opening moment is in favor of Felix Vogel. But it is still a race to 9. A lot of things can happen. And a nice stroke by Felix to secure the 5th rack. Indeed, he's 5-1 up. And a bit of a let-off by Mika, because I think he had a very nice chance to win it.
Yep.
But, as you said, the side pockets of these Predator Arc tables are strict, and if you don't play it dead center, they will spit it right back at the table.
Wow. Are you looking right at the back there? It looks like Konstantin Canaris and Walter Leica is over. They just shook hands. Walter Leica, I noticed, had taken a 6-1 lead. I'll bring you more updates on that after we watch Mika take his 4th break. No, 3rd break.
3rd break, yeah.
Yes. Of this match. Thank you, Joris.
So a little bit more powerful, but not only it's an illegal break, it's also a dry break. So in this case, he did not get that result where he got in the first break off. It's also kind of messy, this table. You see that the split is not nice. It's all because he hit the pack a little, well, too much on the side.
Yeah, it's probably our first real ugly break of the match so far, and it really came from Mika not making the 1 on the cut, and like you said, just not contacting it properly. Might give us an opportunity to see how these guys tussle with trouble. What an opening shot.
Yeah, Felix Vogel says easy peasy for me, this kind of shots. Looks very confident to take that kind of shots on. Nicely found a
Yeah,
route past the 6 towards the 3.
He was always quite a cool kid when he was coming through the ranks, but his composure around the table, well, what a role model for all the other juniors coming through. It's great to watch, and well, the senior players are certainly in trouble.
No, absolutely. And as said, we have a lot of players. Now, Felix Febr is only 18 years old, but we have also a lot of players in the age of about 22, 23 who are knocking on the door of the top tier players in current times. Also the likes of Carlo Bilardo and eventually also Fedor Gorst and Joshua Villa. And I'm curious to see in the next 5-6 years where all these players grow towards, well, best of the best in the world. They can compete against anybody. And not only in Europe we see these kind of talents, also in Asia we have some fantastic young talents. So I'm very interested in the near 5-6 years future from now on, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we have to extend our thanks to EPBF, the WPBF, Predator, PBS, because they're putting on such a good, high-quality number of events that these players are getting to travel, see the world, play the best, cut their teeth in countries they probably never even dreamed of going. And it just turns out and churns out real world-class players, and the fact that we've got a good chunk of them in Europe, well, it's just great and entertaining for everyone at home, but really good for the sport.
Absolutely, and Felix Vogel showed how much he loved that Predator rest, because he's now finally put it away after making some couple of balls with it. Now again, these side pockets are not very forgiving. This needs to go accurate in the center of the pocket. And you could see that. I love that shot, Kevin. He really played it in the center, but you could also see how tight these side pockets actually are. Because if you hit it from that angle and you just hit it one of the jaws, well, it stays out. So it's quite a narrow entrance. And at the moment you can see that the ladies match on table 2 is into a timeout and table 3 has already finished. So only table 1 here is the only table currently in action.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the score over on the women's table. It looks like Anna has got it back from being 2-1 down to leading 3-2. So that may be the opportune moment for Alara to take her time out. We return back to this quite exhilarating matchup between Felix and Mika. Not many mistakes, if any, from Felix, but yet the scoreline indicating that he's having a bit of a better time out there than the Finnish player so far. And if you wanted to pick the difference, certainly the breaks seem to be stronger for the German.
Yes, most definitely. And where Mika won only one rack, in that rack we could see 2 mistakes by Felix. First of all, well, a missed one ball, and afterwards a jump shot where he scratched with the cue ball. But that is the only thing that went wrong for Felix and cost him 1 rack. Further on, he is dominating this whole match, and this really should be a break and run, isn't it?
I wouldn't put it past the young gentleman. He's played this very nicely to stay on the 4 rather than bringing the 7 into play.
It's a bit soft.
To slow down.
Yeah, you think
either
he
slow down or get quicker. It was one or the other.
Yeah. No, you might be right. I would have played this towards the corner, go around the 5, but maybe he was opting to play for the side. I can't believe that, because that was very risky to find position from the 5 to the 6 if you kept position for the 5 in the left side. So I think he underpaced this one.
Well, the banks have been open for this young gentleman. Made 2 so far. Oh, just opened up off the rail. But that might slow up and just leave a bank for Mika, and that might be a difficult bank as well.
I think the position of the cue ball makes this bank to the side pocket thin enough to avoid the double kiss. The only thing is that you don't not secured of a position on the 6 after making the bank. Made the bank, and yeah, he kicked the 6 to that long short rail, and I don't think this cuts back to the left side pocket, corner pocket.
You spotted that danger quickly, Joris. Doesn't look like Mika had judged that well. Probably focusing more on the pot, which he made. Is he going to play a similar bank shot here?
I think so. I don't like it. I prefer to put the cue ball behind the 9. No, he missed it. And sold out. Because there was a very easy safety. If he played it from the left side of the 6, he pushed the 6 behind the 7. And the cue ball would have gone towards the 9 ball. So there was a nice safety option. And he decided to go all in on this bank shot. Not a great shot. I really hate these type of shots that Felix just played. Putting a lot of draw on it. Find that small gap in between the 9 and the side pocket. But he played it to perfection.
He's come out of the blocks really well in this opening match, Joris. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the clearances that he's been making. And even when he's gone on the offense with his bank shots, he's been making them quite regularly too. And it's going to be a tough match now for Mika with the scoreline at 6-1. Maybe alternate break could help him, but it does look like the German's in formidable form this morning, hey, Joris?
He is playing his hearts out. He's shown that he is a raw talent. And Mika, well, to be honest, I feel like he has 2 kind of issues in order to get another chance in this match. First of all, his break is not working. He has to get another strategy maybe in his break off. And next to it, of course, he has to, well, get a chance into points. And that's a very important thing if he wants to win this match. And again, it's a dry break, and that 1 ball was the only ball that got into the kitchen. So in the 3-point rule, he only had 1 point. So quite some issues, I feel, for Mika. He really needs to work on his break.
We had a little chat about his break being a bit soft, especially with the format of the 3-point rule. Just wondering if that's coming back to bite him somewhat, but you have to say, not been making the balls off the break anywhere near with the consistency that Felix has, and that's going to make it a little bit harder for him.
This might be a pretty short rack, because the 5 is not passing the 8, and it has a perfect combination, I think, or maybe it looks to go to the short side, but I think Felix Vogel has to take on the 5-9 combination. Ooh, that 3 ball didn't find any gravity to get in.
No, pace kept it rattling, and it's hung there for Mika. I was just having a look at that 5-9 combination. I would prefer that than taking the 4 to 5 in the centre pocket. Would like to finish quite straight on this 4.
Now, as you can see, he just checked the 5-9 combination. It looks like he's opting to play for that one. No, he's not. He checked it, didn't fancy it. So now he's playing the 5 towards the left side pocket, which is pretty makeable, but I think it's wise to roll the cue ball up towards the 9 and leave it there. Play this off.
Good line.
Yeah, absolutely. Just there. Going around the 8 ball. Really helps.
A little bit of an exhale from Mika there as well. He's recognizing he's up against it here. This needs to start happening now.
Yeah, feels like he's got to approach us rack by rack to find his way back into this match.
Good chance to take advantage of this mistake from Felix. He may not get too many from the young German, but very important when he does to convert them to points on the board, especially with the scoreline the way it is now. And Mika Rigonen does do that, takes the score to 6-2 in this alternate break format. Felix to break. Just to let you know, we are having a whole day of 9-ball today. Women's, under 23s and men's event in play. If you want to keep an eye on the scores, do visit EPBF.com. And if you're enjoying the Pro Billiard TV channel, please do like, share and subscribe. All the matches that we stream are kept on there. And well, it's been a while since I've jumped straight out of the commentating box straight onto the Pro Billiard TV. But I did that for the men's final last night. And what a final in the 8-ball we had. I would suggest watching that back at your leisure. Absolute thriller. But it's now all 9-ball. And again, another effective break from the young German with shape on his next ball. This is great stuff for him. Very promising for his tournament here in Antalya.
Yeah, and with that word again, it also means that he is producing very consistent results on his break. And indeed, again, he made 3 balls on the break. So, if he can keep reproducing these type of breaks, then things look very good for this tournament for Felix Vogel.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you can start breaking consistently and converting consistently, it's all down to your opponent then, really. And if there are any chinks in their armour, they will be exploited.
Very thin cut shot on a 5. You could see him having a little chat with himself because he underpaced position from 4 to 5, and he's probably having a little chat in his mind further.
That's 2 shots now where he's just, in my view, over hit the cue ball there. It looked like the pace that he hit the 5, it skidded out of the offline. It looked like when he contacted it, it was on the right line. So again, pace maybe not being his best friend on these tight predator arc tables. But again, as we alluded to in the last rack, Mika's not going to get too many of these. And if and when he does, converting them is key.
Not the easiest shot here for Mika Räikkönen. Well, played a nice jacked up shot because he was pretty hampered by the 7. Not out of the woods yet. This looks very easy because, well, he is pretty straight on the 7 towards the bottom right corner. But very important to stay down on the shot. Cue ball in the exact position where he breaks off. That might help him in the feeling how to stand. Nicely done. So
yep.
This now should be all over. Extremely straight on the 8, so draw this back to a bit to the center. Don't need to go all the way because the 9 is laying there in front of the side pocket. Nice.
Yeah, indeed. I wouldn't say these racks are must-wins for Mika, but he really does need to keep the scoreline a bit healthier for him, because it will only take a couple more from Felix and he will find himself on the hill in this race to 9. So another timely rack from Mika Räikkönen, and he will take the score to 6-3 and get the break. So not all going Felix's way, and it only is going to take maybe a more consistent break from Mika, and we could find ourselves in a bit more of a closer contest than it initially looked like it was going to be. Is he changing where he's breaking from? I think he's going to persist with the cut break.
Yeah, looks like he's still playing from the left side, close from the rail. Well, that is much better. You can see rolling 4 balls towards that cushion. Already made the wing ball directly in the corner pocket. Still managed to control the cue ball nicely. And that resulted in this fantastic chance for a break and run. Need to go up and down a little bit, so you can see that the route from the 3 ball towards that 4 ball is most probably going to be his biggest challenge in this rack. And of course the 2 towards the 3 ball is also a lot of distance. So that looks like to be, well, the main thing he's going to focus on in this rack. But to me, the very important thing was that this was finally a nice, good break-off.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit more pace generated with great reward. And he would really like to keep Bogle in his chair for this rack.
Well, I
Played
like
for the
this.
gap,
I like
found it.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this angle, he can go in between the same gap back towards that 4 ball. If you play this with top left, I think like you can go in between back to where it is right now. A little further would be appreciated. Love it. Yeah, absolutely good.
Yep.
Very nice. Now again, personally I like to play this around the corner, so I like to go a little bit more towards that right side with a touch of outside English. Sorry, inside English. Indeed, he's playing with top right, directly towards that 6 ball. Love to stop. Yeah, just
Yep.
there. Now he can send the cue ball around the 8. 3 cushions.
Yeah, a little stretch because the cue ball's floated down so far. Good position on the 7. Anything but straight. Great opportunity.
Oh, it's very pacey. Feels like he played this with a lot more power than needed. I just would have liked to float it off that right rail, a little bit off, but he went for the extra force rail, that short rail at the top. Fortunately for him, the line was perfect, so he's still good shape on the 7. Well, that didn't work well, didn't it, Kevin?
He's looking at it. He knows he's left himself a little bit more difficulty than he'd ideally have wanted. Certainly more than capable of making this 8. But after all that hard work.
Yeah, this isn't the easiest of shots. There's also a big scratch if he takes on this cut shot. And if he's drawing it, well, the 9 ball could interfere with it. So it looks like a lot of things can go wrong here. But most of all, it's important to make that that 8 in the bottom left. No. I think he played safety.
Well, how safe it is will remain to be seen. We've seen Felix make a couple of bank shots already. We have seen him miss one. So he is human.
And also this one is not there. But he played it in such a way that if he missed, he's gonna leave a tough shot for Mika. Missed it on the pro side. And well, I really feel like Mika has to glue the cue ball beneath the 9 ball, I feel.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just wondering if in doing that, will the 8 go close to a pocket?
Just overrun it. And I can understand why he chose to go, well, a little bit more all in. He had to work with the cue ball, but if you want to win this tactical race against Felix, you need to find a decent position behind the 9.
Well, you have to think, Joris, that's a little bit of a shame for Mika. Of course, by his own design, but after such a good break and navigating his way around the table to finish short on the 8. Okay, a little error from the Finn, but I think it's just going to be magnified by Felix because that scoreline is starting to run away from him a little bit. And, well, it'd be interesting to see how he responds. There's nothing he can do at the moment because Felix has got the break. And while I've got your attention, just to let you know, yeah, Walter Leica, the young Swede, is through already, beating Konstantinos Canaris 9-1. And over on our other TV table, it looks like Anna Gradiznik who has come from 2-1 down, is now leading 5-2 against Alara Ghaffari in their 9-ball opening round. Plenty of matches in the arena right now. Our focus is on table 1.
Felix Vogel with the break-off in rack number 11. And this is an illegal break, I assume. Indeed it is.
Yep.
Made 1 ball and only this 3 ball past the kitchen line. So with the 3-point rule, that green 6 ball also needed to go into the kitchen, which it didn't. Now it feels like to me that Felix played a similar break-off as former breaks, which all worked very nicely. So that should be a little bit of a, well, downfall for him to have an illegal break. But nothing to worry about.
Ooh. Oh, hello. I think that cue ball has just crept out from behind the 2. No, I was just about to say, Felix didn't make the cut break, didn't make the one in the centre. That was the difference between his previous breaks and that one. And what it did do was it laid right the way down on the bottom rail. Made the shot for Mika a bit trickier, this containing safety, but I doubt he would have imagined he'd have left a gap for Felix here. Can he pounce?
And take on the bank shot, maybe? Even the cut shot, wow. Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Mika to leave in that gap.
Ooh. This is going to be fun to get back for the 3. Just looks like it's a bit too straight. Get to have a look at Felix's power here. That'll do.
Nothing wrong with that power shot.
Not at all. I thought the natural draw was going to bring it up towards the corner pocket. Clearly, he was able to find something.
I agree with you, but indeed, if you have the right and perfect cue power where the draw gets on, without that forward motion, then you could indeed draw it back to the left side of the 3 ball. Very nicely displayed by Felix Vogel. Can draw this off the rail. No, he likes to keep things simple. Again, drawing it straight back to the center of the table without touching a rail. Also this shot, I assume he's gonna draw it without touching a rail. It's something like a practice routine where he needs to clear up the table without touching the rails with the cue ball. He failed.
There's not much that young lad will fail, let me tell you. But this still needs to be treated with a bit of extra care. This will be to get the young German to the hill in what you would have to say quite convincing fashion. Oh, he does, Joris. He does. Makes the 9, gets the score. 8-3 on the hill. Mika to break. This has been a tough match for Mika, in all fairness, and that's a testament to the quality of Felix. Still in it, but you have to feel with the scoreline, it's really up against the Finn. As we just take a quick look over at table 2, it looks like, Anna is 6-2 up now, so she's won 5 in a row over on that table. Amazing performance. She did extremely well as well in the 10 ball and 8. So
yeah, it looks like she's going to close the match all the way from 2-1 down towards the finish line. That's really impressive.
Yeah, we've been having some absolute glorious demonstrations, world-class players. And as I mentioned with Pro Billiard TV, the fact you can go back and watch the matches that you've missed, it does make a big difference, because I hear the buzz, I read the buzz, even in our own back channels, Joris, between us commentators and stuff. You get the feeling when it's happening, and you just want to be part of it.
You are correct. Indeed it is. Yeah, so this 12 rack is already started off with a nice break off by Mika, where again he maybe a bit too late in the match because he's training 8-3, but also this break off was a nice break off with a nice result. And another great opportunity for Mika to have a break and run in this match.
Can he cut this in? He's going to be flirting with the corner pocket, you feel, but nice natural shape to come back out for the 4. Be about pace.
No, he hit it too thick. And with that thickness, he also got way too short on the 4 ball. So
that was tricky.
It was, and this is already the chance for Felix Vogel to secure this 12th rack and of course winning the match, promote to the winners qualification round.
Yeah, good to point out, it's not all over for the loser in this match. They will move into the losers bracket. It's a little bit of a longer route to go, but we've seen players come that way with great success.
Indeed.
Sneaking round the back, as so to speak. How's his pace? Needs it to run on a little bit. Should be okay. And yes, we have a lot more 9-ball coming at you today, tomorrow, and on Tuesday we will have the quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals of the teams event, also men and women's division in that. As I watched that cue ball.
Indeed, so he left himself now real nice angle on this 6 ball, and you can see the position of the 7 all the way to the other side of the table. So a lot of work to do for Felix Vogel if he wants to win this. Oh, you can see, I love this. Now he's not doing that. He's going to put in a lot of power and drawing it back to the long rail with a lot of side spin. Can he get shape on the 7?
Ball still spinning sideways.
And in the meantime, and tell you what, so the loser promotes to the loser round, the winner promotes to the winner qualification round. And do you know who he will be facing at the winner qualification? It will be Daniel Maciol. So by the looks of it, the Polish champion in 10 ball. Oh, lovely.
Wow.
What a great shot. And that will be at 4:15 this afternoon, Turkish time. So I hope you stay tuned to watch that match. And he's playing it with style, playing with left-handed.
Fantastic. And, well, a formidable performance from Felix Vogel there. You have to say, dominating, had the break working, had his clearances working, just didn't give Mika enough room to get back into it once the scoreline started to leave him. And as my good colleague Joris mentions, he will now progress, Felix, and will face a matchup with Daniel Maciol. our reigning 10-ball champion. Daniel took a break for the 8, and he's back ready for the 9, so that will be a tough matchup for him. And yes, we will have plenty more action, as Joris says. In an hour and a half, we will be beginning the next rounds on the TV tables. And if you are enjoying the stream, please do like, share, and subscribe. It's been a pleasure. Thank you ever so much, Joris van Amersfoort. My name is Gethin Davis. Please don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with more 9-ball action from the 2026 EPBF Predator Pool Championships in Antalya, Turkey. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.